Have you ever met someone and almost instantly felt they couldn't be trusted? Nothing obvious happened. They were polite, friendly. Maybe they even smiled. But something inside you said, "Be careful." Then, weeks later, you discovered they were kind, honest, dependable. The danger had never been inside them. It had begun inside you. Or perhaps you met someone and immediately felt they understood you, only to discover later that you had filled the empty spaces with pieces of yourself. The human mind has an extraordinary habit. When it cannot fully see another person, it sometimes completes the picture using itself. Every day, we make rapid judgments about other people. Anxious, generous, ambitious, trustworthy. Most feel like observations, as though we're simply noticing what is there. But sometimes, what we notice in another person did not begin with them. It began with us. This is projection. And projection is difficult to notice because it rarely feels like projection. It feels like seeing clearly. So here's the question we'll carry through this episode. How much of what I see in another person belongs to me? Imagine your first morning at a new job. By lunch, you've already formed impressions. That manager seems intimidating. That coworker seems warm. Another seems impatient. You have very little information, but the mind doesn't like leaving the picture unfinished. So it fills gaps using memory, expectation, past experience, and sometimes your own emotional life. Someone who fears disappointing others may walk into a meeting and see judgment everywhere. Someone more secure may enter the same room and notice curiosity or encouragement. The room didn't change. The lens did. Our own inner world is the most familiar psychological information we possess. So when another person's inner world is hidden, the mind sometimes borrows from its own. Suppose a coworker seems desperate for recognition. Every late email, every suggestion in a meeting, every conversation with the boss appears to confirm it. But ask yourself, why did those details stand out? Perhaps the coworker is ambitious, or perhaps recognition has become emotionally important to you. Projection does not require inventing a fictional person. It works more subtly. Real behavior is filtered through patterns we already carry. A delayed reply can feel like rejection to someone who fears abandonment. A quiet expression can look like anger to someone carrying anger. An ordinary disagreement can sound like criticism when we are already criticizing ourselves. The evidence may be real. The meaning we attach to it may contain us. Projection becomes powerful when interpretation turns into certainty. I wonder if they're disappointed becomes they're disappointed. I recognize competitiveness becomes they are competing with me. I feel uneasy becomes they are untrustworthy. Notice what disappeared, the question mark. And once the question mark disappears, we begin collecting evidence for a conclusion we no longer realize we created. That can change relationships. We become guarded with someone we believe is hostile. They sense our distance and become guarded too. Now their behavior appears to confirm the original judgment. A private interpretation can begin producing the very interaction we thought we were merely observing. Projection doesn't only color what we see, sometimes it changes what happens next. Think of someone you've known for years. A spouse, a friend, a parent, a child. Then imagine they reveal something you never suspected. They were afraid when you thought they were confident. They hated attention you assumed they enjoyed. They felt lonely during a period you remembered as happy. For a moment, the person in front of you no longer matches the person you've been carrying in your mind. That moment is valuable. It reminds us that no matter how well we know someone, part of their inner life remains inaccessible. Curiosity asks questions. Certainty fills in answers. Projection thrives when curiosity disappears. There is a reason the mind reaches inward when trying to understand someone else. That same ability helps create empathy. When a friend loses someone, you search your own experience of loss. When a child falls, you remember pain. When someone celebrates, you remember joy. We use ourselves as a bridge into another person's experience. The problem begins when imagination becomes certainty. I wonder how they feel becomes I know exactly how they feel. A bridge becomes a mirror. The goal then is not to stop using yourself to understand people. It's to remember that your experience is a hypothesis, not proof. Tomorrow, your mind will begin interpreting people almost immediately. It always will. The invitation is simply to notice when certainty arrives too quickly. Ask 2 questions. What am I seeing? And what might I be adding? Because every person you meet has lived a life you have never lived. Their inner world will never be completely visible to you. And that uncertainty does not make connection impossible. It makes curiosity necessary. So the next time you become completely certain about what someone else is thinking, feeling, or intending, pause. You may be seeing them, but you may also be catching a quiet reflection of yourself.